Hi. So how
Hey.
am I? I love you. I'm so glad that you're on here with me. I'm like, first of all,
I've
you,
missed you.
thank you. So you're Deanna. You created PhD. Like I have all your products here. I'm like a little ad.
Okay.
The swords,
What the?
they're
Oh,
little
there's
swords.
swords.
The sword.
Oh,
And I do
amazing.
long on this hand and short on this hand so I can play. And these are for the boys,
I
for one
love
boy.
it.
Uh, So yeah, I got long and short. I got it all. I got it all. And I have been working on my general overall health, body, mind, and spirit as a strong female in the world. And I had to talk to you because
I
number
love it.
one, you make these, and these are awesome products, right? And I want to know your story of how that happened. But also, I just want to give you like a framework of why I want to talk to you and what I'm doing.
Okay.
You know, I'm a trauma expert,
Yes.
right? Like I went on the road, I've been to every state, done every highway. Like I know about trauma. I'm like, ugh. Like, hey, it's April, stop raping kids.
Right.
Go fuck yourself. Like really for real. And I'm like, okay, what have I seen really? I've seen that men are completely traumatized
Hmm.
and men are being emasculated. I think there's a whole lot. I mean, we can go deep diving into like the world
Yeah.
issues, but what can we do in our own families? It's like the women, most of the women have gotten some kind of trauma, and it's somehow related to the below their waist
Hmm.
to your part. I mean, it like loving your parts is a matter of truly seeing yourself and truly loving your parts. And then the men, we heal the men up, and then they can see and truly love our parts, and then that'll be great. I
Right.
have a theory that like the fact that child sexual abuse, rape, domestic violence, and violence is such a pandemic, when we heal it up and we actually heal ourselves and love ourselves, and then we have dynamic, spiritually connected, awesome sex lives, boom. Then we're then there's no perp can get into an arena with a
Yeah.
powerful couple that's united like that. It just can't. And
Yeah.
then it spreads out to the community and it spreads out through
And the
your
cycle's broken.
family. The cycle's broken. So
Hmm.
how do we do that? So I've been having these conversations and I'm going to keep having them of like, okay, you what we've been talking about, like getting to know ourselves and really like actually women like looking at yourself.
Hmm.
And did you know that there's 9 different types? It's like a horoscope. It's like a horoscope. Ah,
I was
where
having
you
this discussion recently. Um, I can't remember where I was, but it's like the ability to read yourself.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. No, you can no, it's like a horoscope. It's like a horoscope. And if you're nice, I'll read you yours. I'll make you a reading. So it's like you pick which one you are. And then the amazing thing with your partner and yourself,
Yeah.
mainly yourself, really, really, truly looking at yourself and finding out which one you are. And then it
Mhm.
is directly related to your work and your products that like, if you actually start, you're like, I hate it. Somebody told me I was stinky. And you use like actually the real stuff, the real boric acid, not all this frou-frou stuff, not all, like you
Right.
actually like take care of yourself and love yourself up. So there's a couple things I think that you are so important to me. One is because you help us love our vaginas, our
Yes,
vulvas, all
indeed.
parts.
All the parts.
I can do your reading for you people. I'm really good at it.
Okay,
But
show the name of the
also,
book. Flip to the front of the book. I want to see the title.
what'd you say?
Flip to the front. I want to see the title of the book.
Oh, it is the sexual practices of the Kwadoshka. I have her on my show.
Amazing.
So I have a whole she's amazing. We're best friends now. I love her. We're going to her onto her retreat in Costa Rica. Like you're gonna love her. And then she has my favorite. I mean my favorite part. That's my favorite page right there. There's 9 different types of these, and then there's 9 different types of the vaginas. You get to
No
know.
coincidence, right?
I mean, I like the dancing man.
Let me see.
I'll stay with the dancing man. Y'all can move. Y'all can. Y'all can have the
Okay.
coyote. It's fine. But I mean, reading about you, like getting to know yourself, I was like, it was one of the sexiest things I've ever done, to be honest. I gave the book to Lover and was like, look at me, like figure out which one I am, and like
Incredible.
help
And
me
open up
figure it
that
out. And it's
discussion.
so hot. It's so hot and sexy, and it's
Yeah.
like actually freeing. And then you read it, and then you get to know each other, and you get to know like they're all different, and they're all like, I mean, honestly, this one, the horseman likes to be whispered to in his ear.
The horse whisperer.
I mean, you're like, I know that you're a horse, baby. You know what I mean?
Well, I
Like
mean, our whole campaign was know yourself well, right?
exactly, know yourself well.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, how many women do not do this?
Yeah, it's so
You
true.
get the homework, and you go "No, don't do it." Okay, and it also, which is also why I want to talk to you, how many women do not follow their dreams?
Mm.
Because you had, so I want to know your story. You were sick, and then you didn't do it. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. And then you started a whole company, and
I
you're in
couldn't
like
thump.
Walgreens. And I go down and I see like your products, and I'm like, yay! So there's that. Like you had to know yourself well. You had to clean up your shit
Yeah.
and like your mindset and self, and then you have a whole company.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did you do that? Like, who are you, and how did you do that? And how can we know ourselves better?
Well, that saying necessity is the mother of invention has probably never been more true in my case. I ironically spent 20 years in the pharmaceutical industry and loved science and the business of it. And then I got a whole bunch of sinus infections, had two surgeries, and when we're on antibiotics, because I was on, gosh, 18 months to 2 years worth of antibiotics, completely destroyed my flora. We know what happens. And so I was just thinking there's got to be a better, more holistic way to take care of these issues. And so I started looking into holistic ingredients. And let me tell you, there's a whole bunch of wives' tales out there of things to put up your vagina, like garlic cloves. No, thank you.
Potatoes? Don't put a potato up there.
Okay, we just do a timeout.
Yeah.
You have to tell that story.
It's so funny. So,
To.
so my grandmother developed late in life diabetes, and she was addicted to potatoes. Like, and she'd always eat the potatoes. So she has a thing. When you'd catch her, Gran, were you eating a potato? She'd be like, one tater never hurt nobody. One tater never hurt nobody. One tater never hurt nobody. And and I'm sitting at my OBGYN because I love having these conversations. This is me. I will start a conversation with anybody. It's me. That's who I am. And so here I am, like in the OBGYN with my legs like this, because that's how I do it. And she's down there, and I was like, hey, what's the craziest thing you ever saw? Like in your whole career? Like you've seen a lot of these. What's your wildest story? And she's like looking at me from underneath my legs, like she's looking at me like this. And she goes, "Oh, I got one.
Her eyes got big.
I got one. I got one." There was this one time, this lady thought that her uterus was gonna fall out, so she put a potato up there, and the potato sprouted, and grew through her fallopian tubes, and they had to have surgery to remove the potato patch. And so of course I called my grandmother and I said, one tater can hurt somebody. One, one, one tater can too hurt somebody. Oh my God. Like, don't put a potato up there. Don't put a
Yes,
potato.
it might be holistic, but it's not a good idea.
Is it going to grow? Sprout? I mean, that is just
Think
like
about it. It's like being
with a chance.
buried underground. It's
Nice and warm.
yes.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So yeah,
Oh,
there's vinegar. But hold on, you back up. You said
okay.
taking antibiotics ruins your flora.
Ruins your vaginal
That's
flora.
great. You said
Yes.
right?
Yep. And so I started,
Yeah.
looking for the
So
holistic
so
alternative.
there's a lot of things ruin our vaginal flora.
Yes, many, many things can. So I was looking for the holistic alternative backed by science. So I wanted something that, had studies behind it. And I found all this literature on boric acid vaginal suppositories. And I was like, why in the, what is this, by the way? And so I tried it. Yes, do not eat them. Yeah. So I tried the suppository and life-changing. And I talked to a ton of OBGYNs and they're like, yeah, Deanna, we love boric acid suppositories, but you can only get them at a compounding pharmacy and they're so expensive. And I'm thinking, why in the world is nobody making these?
Why is it so
And
expensive?
I tell you, it was divinely choreographed that my daughter's ice hockey coach had a manufacturing facility and that made holistic products. I mean, odds, right? And so went to him with the idea. He was like, okay, he's a science nerd like me. He's like, loved the literature. It's like, let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. So they started making them, and then we put them up on Amazon in 2014. And within 6 months, it was the bestseller in its category. And boric acid
Really?
is
Hey, you've got
really
body wash.
unique. Yep. That too.
Oh, Mark.
Um,
It's got all kinds of stuff.
boric acid, super unique ingredient. Um, we market it here in the US for vaginal odor because it works great for that. But in Canada, we're required to market for yeast infections. It works for that too. So
Hmm.
the reviews that we were getting from these women, particularly with vaginal odor, it can be debilitating. And a lot of things can
Mm-hmm.
cause that, as we were talking about, intercourse, your period,
Jeans,
medications. What
leather pants,
what'd you say?
leather pants,
Leather
leather
pants.
pants.
Leather pants.
A dude you
Pants,
don't like,
bathing
a dude you
suits.
don't like.
Yeah, all those things.
Yeah, a dude
All the
your
things.
body does not like. Mhm.
Reject.
Your
Um,
body's like, no.
right. And it's interesting you said that. Uh, and so the women, particularly with vaginal odor, uh, it's recurrent 50% of the time in women who have it. So it's a chronic problem that, normally the traditional treatment for it was an antibiotic. Then that antibiotic gives you a yeast infection. So then you have to treat that. And then 3 to 4 months later, back again. So, and what we're finding is, like, through the reviews of these women who have tried it, that this, completely changed their lives because it finally offered them an alternative to where they could also insert one every couple, you know, weeks or couple times a week or once or twice a week. And it was preventing them from having it. So, and I mean, we know when something's not right with
Oh
our,
yeah, you're like,
it's
I
just,
call it the brown day.
yeah,
It's the
it is the
brown
brown
day.
day.
You're like,
Yeah.
when Auntie Rose didn't, she left some stuff.
Yes. Yes. It is
This is
so
great, and
true.
it works. It really does work.
Yep.
So why is it boric acid? Is it kind of like that nitric oxide stuff that's like the special little thing? I just found out about the nitric oxide. It's like that, these
Oh,
amazing little things like
you know, I
boric
can't,
acid. Who
I'm
knew?
not really sure about nitric oxide, but I have heard some
You
stuff.
know,
Kind of live in a
our
cave while
internet's
I do
funny.
this work. But yeah, okay, let me tell you this. This is crazy. So I'm from Mississippi originally, and we have a 100-plus-year-old farmhouse there. And in every bathroom, there is boric acid crystals. right? And it says
Nuh-uh.
for a wash. So it does make me wonder
For a while down there.
if growing up, if I didn't see this and it was like planted in my head. But what they used to do is make a douche out of this. Women have been using this for over 100 years, and because it works. So you can use it for
Amazing.
your eyes, your vaginas. If your dogs have ear issues, you can use it for that too. I
Really?
swear. It's a phenomenal
I
ingredient.
mean, like, and so they allowed you, it's out. Like there was nobody shutting you
Yeah.
down with like, wait a second.
So
Oh,
that was
that's cool.
2014. And let me tell you, back then, Amazon was not what it is today. You still had to wait, you know, for 2 or 3 days to get your stuff, unless you lived in LA or New York or Dallas or something. And because Prime was only in those cities. And okay, when we have something wrong with our vaginas, we want it fixed right away, right? We don't want to wait 2 or 3 days because it's miserable.
It is,
And yeah, so I
especially when I was
left my corporate job in 17 to come run the company full time. And one of the first things that I wanted to do was to make it available to women when they needed it most at the store. So ended up, of course, I'd never taken a business class in my life. I had never, of course,
This is what I want to know. This right here. This because for the people who are like, I have this great idea and I don't know how to do it.
see, and I never in a million years would I have told you. I was a single mom, was going to retire from, my cushy, wonderful job that I had. And matter of fact, that's what I was going to do. And I was PhD was going to be my side hustle. So it's going to help
Yeah.
pay for college for my kids. And so that's kind of an interesting story. I had it all planned out. And then I was fortunate enough um, to be given a manager that was not a member of my fan club at all. I couldn't do anything right. And I had this one particular day, this one particular phone call, just it devastated me. And I was a top performer, I never worked harder. And the kids had come home from school and I'd hung up the phone and I was like, I just need to go cry. So I went in the garage and I shut the door because I didn't want my kids to see me crying. And about work, because I'm their strong mom who's taking care of everything. And I was
Right.
sitting there on the steps and I remember looking up and seeing actually cobwebs in the corner, like cobwebs, like one more thing I have to do. And then I was just like, why is this happening to me, God? Like, why can I not do anything right? And it was like this whoosh. And then all of a sudden I got it. It's this moment of clarity. It's because I'm not supposed to be there. I wasn't supposed to be
Oh, I
there.
got goosebumps.
And sometimes we just have to be made super uncomfortable in our comfortable situation in order for us to make a change. And that's exactly what happened. Because if I had not been made to be made uncomfortable, then I'd still be there. I wouldn't be sitting here with you right now. And it was at that moment I had complete and utter peace. I knew that I was going to plan my exit, and it didn't matter if I failed because, I had this peace that even if I fail, I'm really good at what I was doing and I could go get another job. And, but the interesting thing too is that I'd only told like 3 people about this side hustle because I knew that there would be negative energy from a lot of the people that if they
Hmm.
knew about it. And I didn't want them to be energy suckers.
Your product line. It's the future product line. This is like your vision. It's like in your mind. You're like, and now my product line is in the thing.
Right?
You don't want to listen to the naysayers because then this little cloud of ideas like gets
Right. It just gets
rocky.
squashed.
Yeah.
And so let me tell you, when I was planning this exit, and
Vision. I love
there
it.
are people in my family that thought I would lost my mind. They're
Same
like,
girl.
what are
Same.
you doing? You're leaving this job to go make a vaginal suppository? And there was,
Yeah.
and another thing too, it's
You're
like,
like,
well,
yes,
there's
I am.
no
We're gonna play
IP,
with vaginas all day.
right? There's not protected. Anybody can make it. And I think that's the reason nobody brought it to market, was because you couldn't patent it. And sure enough, yeah, there were people that ripped us off on Amazon. But what I learned early on, and I'm going to show you this. I keep this on my. We won't be distracted by comparison if we are captivated by purpose.
That is so true.
And so
Always
I
go for the
just,
purpose. Always go for the purpose.
right, I learned early
Yeah.
on that the world needed my gifts and talents, just like they needed everybody else's, and that I wasn't going to compare myself to others because it doesn't end well. So fast forward, that was in 2017, left the job, started running the company again, had no idea what I was doing, but ended up going to this, it was a speed dating session, if you will, with suppliers or brands and retailers.
Mhm.
Where every 10 minutes a new retailer would come to your table. And when you know it was like the culmination of my life's experiences happened for me at that time. And I like to say that not life is not happening to you, but life is happening for you. I think that's a Tony Robbins quote, but um it's so true. And I'm the perfect example of that, because my 20 years in sales, my love of science, my love of people, and my passion for my products,
All like
all
led to
right there. And wouldn't you know,
that's
the
amazing.
first two retailers, Target and CVS.
No way. They were like, yes, I'll take it. Oh my God, I love it. The goosebumps again. And you
So,
walk in thinking, what am I doing in the speed dating? And now I'm in Target.
right? And then I'm like, I got the email from them, and I don't know this retail lingo. I hardly knew what it said.
I know, I know.
From them.
So you you're like, wait, what? So you just answered my question a little bit.
Yeah.
This didn't mean you just landed on millions of dollars and were suddenly
Oh,
taken care
heavens
of.
no.
You were just, yeah, you just, yeah. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
I love these stories.
Yeah. And from that
Because
one
business,
SKU grew and
like
grew.
that, like level of business, the product, this kind of stuff, this is the stuff that makes me go like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how to do that.
Well,
That's scary.
I
And then you have a factory. You have a factory.
okay, yeah. So the hockey
I saw
coach,
it. I saw it in my eyes.
the hockey coach is my minority business partner. So yeah, we make all of our own products, and it's so funny how the things that get me excited now, like manufacturing equipment.
I mean,
It's
it's
like
so
CEO
cool.
form.
I absolutely just love it. I love it, love it, love it. Just because of the people that are sitting there that are like, you don't know how to do that. Because I don't know how to do
Right.
that. They're talking, everybody's talking to themselves. You know,
Yes.
when they say like, why would you do that? They're saying to themselves, why would you do that? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
so as soon as we get past that, all
Right.
the naysayers are talking to themselves.
Yeah. No, that's a great point.
It really is. I
And
mean, if you listen, they really are talking to themselves.
yeah, and if when I look back and I remember who was telling me that, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it's just because they wouldn't do it.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So it's like, so you go forward into the unknown of scary, you know? It's like I make
Yeah.
movies, and I mean I do a lot of other things, but like I did a prison boxing movie. I wrote it, produced it, directed it, 250 men on payroll. How did I do that? I did exactly what you said. I never let go of the vision of the purpose.
Yeah, so true. And if
So
you,
it's like that I have this
that's your guiding
intention, I
light.
have this goal, and everybody in here is in it to win the gold for George or get the F out.
Yeah. And you know,
And I wasn't a bitch about it. And you're not a bitch. You know what I mean? You're not a bitch. You're just like you just focus and get it done. And that's why
we're
I,
driven.
I am.
And there's that
What'd you
saying
say?
that
Did you say you're dripping? Because
I
you're gonna
said
get
that
into
it's TMI.
you're gonna have me.
So there's that saying that uh God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And
Okay, I like
I
that.
didn't know
I didn't know that before.
how to make a movie. I didn't know how to run a business, but yeah,
I like
people have been put in my place to help me, or I've been able to figure it out. And the same thing with you. It's, somebody asked why you, and I was like, well, why not me?
for real. Who else is doing it?
Right? I mean, didn't we all aspire to be the face of vaginal odor when we were little girls?
That's what I wanted to be the face of fashion odor. Oh God. Can I please do a series of photo shoots? Like like like
Please,
like full on like Wonder Woman? Oh, please do it. Please. Can I tell you about my invention, my little
please.
outfit? Because I watch you and I think like, oh gosh, could I really do it? Could I really do it? Could I
Yes,
really do
you
it?
can.
So I have a comedy tour like you have a little teeny taste of my being funny, but I have a whole show like a whole show that I take people through catharsis. So my show is not really about me talking about me really. I'm telling stories that is strategically placed for you to have a catharsis. So I want tent revival meetings. Like, so it's like, I don't want Ticketmaster. I don't want any of I don't want to be associated
Yeah.
with anything. I want to be in your backyard in a tent. Like, so tent revival meetings. Come on, let's go. It could be,
Amen.
so we have freedom and space to move. And then
Mm.
my product is a blanket. It's an all-in-one blanket slash outfit. So it's a holy blanket. So there's strategic holes. Or think about it like a sari, like a redneck
Yeah.
got a hold of a sari, like a put some holes in it, and on one side it's very very soft. It's very elegant. Like it's like because I was in the fashion world for years, so it's like it's really really nice quality. So
Uh-huh.
one side is very soft and could be warm, could be comforty blanket
Yeah.
feeling, but thin. And the other side is waterproof, almost like a sort of like parachute material. So, but like it's is waterproof. But the thing is, it will go into any different design. It will be an evening gown with a little. So I have ways to link the holes. So you can link the holes with these really cool buttons, with these really cool chains, with these really cool like ties. But every single thing is legit a weapon. So like the chain is really a chain that you could climb out the window with.
No
The
way.
clipper thing is actually a knife in there. And so it goes into a wrap dress, a cloak, a dress, pants. It's got the right holes in it so it could be like a little pant outfit. It could do anything with this one blanket. But the laughter thing for me, because my point is we have this life and it is a pile of rags or it's an evening gown or it's your cloak. Like it's like you
Like
could do anything with this. So
goosebumps.
is your is your blanket that I'm giving you, your all-in-one blanket, is it your, I mean, what are you gonna do with it? It's like your
Yeah.
life. The thing that I love you so much and you're my friend and I know you well, there's little pockets in it that'll fit your stuff and that'll also, you can pee in it.
No
So
way.
all my ladies who are like, oh, I peed, or oh, I peed. You're totally taken care of. I love you. I ain't cleaning
Amazing.
up after you. If you laugh and pee at my show, you better have my outfit on because I ain't cleaning up
You're
after you.
covered. Can
You're
you
covered.
send me the link, please?
Like, literally, yes. So I'm like that. The all-in-one outfit. My daughter named it. I was gonna be like warrior wear, and she's like, "Mom, that's so cringe."
So what
It's
did she
all-in-one
name it?
comfort blanket,
What is it?
all-in-one outfit, and all-in-one comfort. It's the
Oh,
all-in-one outfit and the
oh,
all-in-one
that's
comfort blanket. So
brilliant.
it's also for men. So men, it's not just to pee in because you could have it as
Yeah.
a big one and a little one. Kids could use it for forts. You could use it for dogs. You could have it as a poncho because like it's waterproof on one side. But I specifically made it for those who squirt, so that you could go to raves. So you could go to raves and like have you could do whatever you wanted. And if you made an accident somewhere, you could move it. It's like you can move and twist it into another thing. You could have a whole nother outfit for a minute.
I
and it has
love it.
and it has these little the slits where it has like little pockets. So you do have a little pocket on there, and it's perfect for just stashing some of these. I'm just
Oh
saying.
my
I
God.
mean it.
It's like peas and carrots.
I mean, and then, but my whole point of it, because I want to wear it on all my shows, and I also like I want to stick, like, because I'm such a country girl, like you know how you a hobo like puts
Oh
the
yeah.
thing on the back of the. So like that's like life. We're dealt these stories, and it's like,
Yeah.
are you gonna sit on the sofa with your dream and not have this on the shelf? Are you
Oh,
gonna,
and look at you, Angela. Oh my gosh. You could have just fallen apart
oh,
and
I,
everything that you've been through
yeah,
and
I did have.
such an inspiration.
Thank you. I had one therapist say to me, "Well, you could have been. I'm gonna be. Hey, this is my. I can say whatever I want."
This
She's
is
like
your
literally what
show.
she said. She goes, "You could have been sucking cock on the streets for $5
Yeah,
because that's where people end up, and
right?
and
And you
that's where
broke the
I've been.
mold.
I've been all the way to the porta potties and down in the basements and down on the streets and the homeless, and I've been all the way to the penthouses. Guess
Yeah.
what? Same story.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
Same story. I've
It's interesting the perception that people have that successful people have it all figured out.
had. No, I've had billionaire women shove me into bathrooms with their Chardonnay,
Yeah,
Happened to me too. My
right?
grandma used to do it to all of us. I can't say it out loud, but I
Yeah,
love you.
yeah,
And they're like,
yeah.
and I'm like, wow. And meanwhile, you have the depressed down here over here, like thinking you can't. So never compare yourself to anybody.
And
Katie goes, wait, remember from Married Children, and then also you remember that show, Katie
okay, you're
Seagal?
breaking up on me. Say it. Okay, you're back. Okay, what did you say? All my children?
Do you remember that actress? No, not Married with Children.
Oh, Mary. Yes, yes, yes.
Kathy Seagal. Is it
Yes,
Kathy Seagal or Katie Seagal?
Katie, Katie.
It's Seagal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Katie Seagal
Mhm.
in Married with Children.
Yeah,
She was my hero when I was 16.
yeah.
She met me when I was first entered into the business of modeling, and I was at this huge party with Dan Aykroyd and all like huge stars,
Mm.
and Seagal targeted me, and she literally like gave me a little lecture. She's like, never compare yourself to anyone. If you can just start that way, like just keep all of you, and
The best words
don't
of
ever
advice.
compare yourself to anyone because you don't know, and also don't you
Yeah.
have a different path, and obviously you have this great path because you're so fabulous. And she's like, just don't ever compare yourself. And it
Amazing.
really it went in my head. It was her because
Well,
she was not in character, but she was her. You know what I mean?
right.
I
Iconic.
was like, I heard you.
I'm like,
I
you
heard
heard her.
I heard you. And so
Yeah.
I got my own journey. And
Yeah.
in really owning that and doing my own journey, I'm doing what I want. I don't want to be attached to Hollywood. I mean, I'll do Hollywood stuff, but I'm not going to be like pounding my
Right.
energy to try to get in Hollywood and make money for perps. Like, no thanks. I'm not into that.
Right.
I want to do tent revival meetings, and we can
Right.
make actually more life changing, like you could change more lives and actually make more money by
Yeah.
doing it the authentic way.
Right.
Imagine. Because it's like I did the other way through the system, and you've got so many
Yeah.
middlemen robbing you,
Well, and
and
it's
so
the
I'm like,
gift that keeps on giving. I mean, look, by doing that, you're empowering so many people and
yeah,
changing lives. I mean,
that's my
phenomenal.
favorite thing to do. Like
Yeah.
when at my events, it's like the little old lady who's like, I've never danced in my life. I'm gonna start a dance studio, or
Right.
my favorites like are the women who are in trauma and recovery for years and years. Like
Yeah.
they run, it's like the trauma recovery, and they quit. And they like Rhonda Dean like opened a barbecue jazz joint. Like I was like, hell
I
yes.
mean,
Like just like yes, and so I'm a catalyst for that, and I just own that. I was like, you know what? I just need to be that.
that's your superpower,
It is my
Wonder
superpower.
Woman.
I just need to do it. But then things in my life as I've always been like crazy hazardy. That's what I've had to own of like really looking
Yeah.
at like even coming to your event. I was like, well, that's Angela. I stepped wrong, and the whole dress popped. The whole entire dress ripped the back of
Okay.
my dress, like my
But I
everything.
remember being on stage, I was like, tell them what happened to your dress because we need to see that. I mean, that's life.
Yeah, you're like, well, that is life. And also just being totally real. And I tell people like, don't put people on pedestals. We all have
Uh-oh.
gas.
So true.
And
It's
you're the founder of this, and you're the big boss, and you're the big fancy like phenom, and you have a product line. And I just like that to me is like, oh, that's so cool. How
okay. I
did you
was
do that?
just telling
That's so
somebody about this
scary.
meme that I saw because people think, oh, an entrepreneur, it's so glamorous. And I saw this meme that said what people think entrepreneurship looks like. And it's this hot woman in this black dress and pearls, and she's like got a glass of red wine in her hand.
Like, meanwhile, it's like this.
And it's like what entrepreneurship really looks like. And it's the same woman with her hair in a ponytail cleaning the toilet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's so
Exactly.
true. I mean,
Exactly.
you know, I have only been at home, I think 5 nights this whole month. And no less than that, actually, 4 nights this whole month. And I left at one point, left my phone and my purse in an Uber, and it took off. I was running through the airport, barely made it to my plane. And I mean, this is just one of countless things that have happened. I am I'm always on the go. I don't know what day it is. I don't know what city it is when I wake up. Um,
Well,
but
that we can start balancing down.
true, but I'm having the time of my life.
Oh,
I
awesome.
I
So you're
mean,
like on tour almost.
never been happier. I mean, it's going from one thing to the next and talking to women entrepreneurs and um, hopefully inspiring some people along the way that don't let fear get in your way of whatever you're called to do. And Angel, I'll tell you something else that's hard to put into words, but the 20 years that I was working in the job that I loved, I remember I'd be walking through like a hospital and I was paid to go see my friends every day because after 20 years, they become your friends, right? And, but I remember walking, doing my job and just knowing instinctively that I was made for something different. Had no earthly idea what that looked like, no clue whatsoever. But that seed was planted in me, you know, for 20 years. I knew that this was not what I was supposed to do. And so when that moment on the stairs happened, it was like, now I get it. It was, my purpose was clear. And so I think as women, we've talked about superpowers, but one of our most badass superpower that we have is our intuition. And I feel like
Mm.
oftentimes we don't pay attention to it or we discount it. And while I felt that nudge, I didn't know what it was. It was almost like, God was preparing me for the day when it occurred so that I would know, okay, this is it. But all those things we need to pay attention to. And it's like the way we're being guided, and to make sure we're always listening and being aware of what's in our hearts and our souls and our minds. Because I think as women, that's truthfully one of our greatest gifts.
And we either like, you can have the intuition, which is God's source, or you
Mhm.
can have the little voice that's the
Yeah.
negative one, and the stories. So it's like differentiating, which one are you
Yes.
listening to? Are you
Okay.
listening to the stories? Or are you
So
listening to the God
I
source?
have a story about that too.
Please.
Um, yes. So early on, like probably my first year, I was, like I said, single mom in it. I was had my daughter at soccer practice. It was over Christmas break, and I was proofreading a label off my phone. And so we were on Amazon then, and I signed off on it. And then, like 2 months later, we start getting these um, calls and these emails like, I think I bought a counterfeit product on Amazon because my bottle says borid acid, not boric acid. And I was like,
Borat! Borat made a joke. Oh no. Oh no.
I,
It's like a
I
little hairy
knew
guy here.
I, I screwed up like to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars we didn't have. And
Because of the misspelling of the label.
yes, I had to
Oh,
recall all that product. And let me tell you what
whose
that did
job
to
was
me.
that to check? Did you kill somebody?
I It sent me down this spiral of self-loathing, self-doubt. I
Oh yeah.
was self-destructive path, and it nearly derailed me
Wow, a
I
typo.
because of a typo. And then I started all these thoughts of you've never had a business class in your life. How you expect to run a company when you can't even proofread a label? You don't know what you're doing.
Well, I mean,
I know, right? And
that's
so
just what I mean.
yeah, it
Listen.
cringe. But I started down that path of I just what's the word I'm looking
Self-doubt.
for? Self-doubt, all those things, imposter syndrome. And I remember uh I two things happened. I was on a run and I was thinking about this and just tearing myself to pieces. And I heard this song that I had my phone on shuffle, the music. It was a song I really hadn't particularly cared for, but it's like I heard the words when I needed to hear the words. And it was
Mm-hmm.
a song actually by Casting
Jesus take the
Crowns of
wheel.
Let Let Me Dream. What'd you say?
I said, Jesus take the wheel.
That it was
So what?
Let Me Dream for You. So basically, don't
Hmm,
dream for yourself, but let God dream for you, because what his dreams are so much bigger than
for
you're
real.
capable of more than you give yourself credit for. And it was like I had to lay down on the park bench and have a cry. And then I saw this Instagram post from this friend of mine who has this inspirational page. And she goes, you see this picture? She sold a picture of herself when she was like 6. And she goes, this is me as a little girl. I want each of you to go find a picture of yourself between the ages of 4 and 8. And I want you to look at that picture, look at that little girl or boy, and ask yourself, would you ever talk to that child, that sweet, precious child, the way you talk to yourself? No, you would never do that. And it was like hit me right between the eyes. So I went and found that photo and I put it on my mirror. And that was really pivotal for me and life changing,
Oh,
because I started a
your little sweet
mantra
precious self.
that every time those words came into my head, that I am enough. And so anytime that happens, that's what I say to myself. and I banish them. But anyway, it hasn't been easy.
I love it. Yeah, no, I know. And another one that I do, you know, how they do those meditations where you go find your inner child and hold them and like you go,
Yep.
you know, I don't know if you've done, I've done every healing technique. I've done all the workshops. I've like, you know, floated in the eggs. I've done them all.
Yeah.
And the crystal gongs over your vaginas and like the, you know, I've done them all. And one is like when you go to these where you go find your inner child and you hold them and like you go save them and take them out of the home. And
Mhm.
I offer another one. When you go and you do the meditation, you go find your inner child, yourself, your little self. So mine's like 8-year old, the kid who like kicked all the bullies out. I'm the one who broke the bully's arm. I'm the one who like protected the other kid. That was me. But also this, you know, this upset little girl who wasn't chosen. So that's my core wound. I wasn't chosen.
Oh,
But I found my little kid, and here's what I say. What is that little kid gonna curse you out for?
mm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Because
That's
we're parents. We know
good.
the little kid when they get so mad at you.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine when your little inner child, what's your little inner child for real mad at you about? And
Yeah.
it's always something to do with you're not playing.
Yeah. That's
It's like,
powerful.
you know, what the hell's your problem? Why aren't you on? So that was like my own meditations after my divorce is like,
Yeah.
why aren't you on stage? Why aren't you playing drums? And I'm like, I can't play drums. And the 8-year old me is like, I couldn't either. Like, what? I'm mad at you. I'm mad at you for not dressing like Elvis. I'm mad at you for not dressing like Pee Wee Herman and not and doing a dance. What the hell's the matter with you? And so that's me. Like, I need to listen to my own little self and
Yeah.
be
More
more.
playful, more
I
childlike,
know
more
I'm a lot.
sharing, more
You
risk,
know,
all those things.
people are like, oh my gosh, you're so much. And it's like, I'm so much because I honestly, my truth, and you've said it so I can speak freely, is
Mhm.
like, it's God. It's a God thing. It really is.
Totally.
That's the
Yeah.
purpose and that's the drive. And my boyfriend is Jesus. That's why I'm
Yeah.
single. And
Yeah.
so it's like, that is what I've done forever. And I've been silent about it because people get
Mhm.
weird about it. But it's like, you get weird about it all you want. I'm not
It
going to
is what
hell.
it
I'm not
is, right?
telling anybody. But when you ask me,
Yeah.
why do you look so good in your 50s? Why are you so happy all the time? Why? And I'm like, I love Jesus.
Peace.
And I have peace. Yeah, it's like it's this peace and I started to change the way I ate
Hmm.
and I changed how I was taking care of myself, which goes back to your, you know, it's
Yeah.
like full circle taking care of yourself.
Yeah. So true.
Because so many of us victims, and like because we're victims of all kinds of things,
Mhm.
we have we'll cut ourselves off at the waist.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, oh, it doesn't exist. And men too, men,
Oh,
same.
totally.
And so there's like this disconnect. And
Yeah.
so I'm like, you know,
When
let's
it's a huge part of who we are.
go full circle into
Yeah.
fully knowing. And
Yeah.
so I've had dudes now since like find out what their woman is on that picture in
Yeah.
Amara's book, and I'll read the woman for them and them so they get to know each other literally and like just levels up everything. And it's also like, why the hell be scared
Right.
of the weird shit anymore?
Right.
It's like, you know, you're scared of a typo. You're scared, you know. I was so sad because you know, two of my movies came out right in the center of the pandemic.
Mm.
So like that crushed me. I had like big plans for my boxing movie. I
Yeah.
love that boxing movie so much. I will never shut up about it. But it's like it had a total yeah,
Mhm.
like trajectory that I'm like, I didn't plan on that.
Right.
And it's like, oh, well, that's not God's plan. God has a
Right.
different plan.
Yeah.
So I was like,
Exactly.
all right, fine.
I know. It takes, it's sometimes we're hard
Uh,
headed and
Actually, that reminds me of something that would be good for your typo. This little
yeah, I love
is
it.
my biggest, here, my
I
biggest fear in life. Two things. Ready? Crocodiles and bed bugs.
okay,
That's
bed
it.
bugs is right up
Crocodiles and
there.
bed bugs are my two like biggest fear, and I've experienced both of them. Oh my God! One of the I got something
Well,
at a store and
lice is pretty bad too.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
And crocodiles. Okay. And so one day, not too long ago, one day, I was walking. I was going on this walk because I really like big adventures, and I'm like, I'm on this walk, and through this about 2 miles I walked. There was hail, a beautiful spring day, rain, and a sunny day. It was like wow. It was like, so I'm like, oh. And as I'm walking, I'm like, what the hell? This is like everything you ever had in your whole life all at once. And I was like changing my life at the minute. So like I'm in like, wow, what's all this mean? And I get to my destination and I climb up these stairs and I come up to this big huge TV that's on, and it's playing crocodiles. I was like, for
Uh-uh.
real? Like I just walked through all this stuff and then I walk and I'm like, I face to face with crocodiles. And I'm
Uh-uh.
sitting there with my backpack and I was like, great, my biggest fear. But on the TV it goes, when the crocodiles are mating. And I was like, oh. And I, and I just sit down. I was like, oh, okay. Well, you have my interest. The crocodiles are mating. The female crocodile goes like this, like, "Rrr," and the guy comes out and starts circling her. Of course, you're like, oh God, oh God, oh God, it's
Yeah.
gonna be dark. It's gonna be horrible. Oh, this is good. And the girl goes like this under the water. The female
Yeah.
is like down like this and puts her snout right above the water, like right underneath the
Yeah.
water as he's circling, and she goes,
There you go.
and I was like, my biggest fear just became the cutest
Maybe the raspberries.
I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
that's it. So she's
classic.
blowing bubbles for him as he's circling, and that's their mating. I was like, are you kidding me right now?
I love
I'm
it.
now in love with my biggest fear. And I
Full
had this like,
steam.
I'm in love with my biggest fear just became so cute.
Right?
Imagine if your biggest fear was so cute. Oh, that's cute. Oh,
So
you're so cute. Oh, it's like
no
so cute.
coincidences in
Like,
life, right? That was meant to be.
I mean, and I was like, okay, I have so many big fears. Big fears of making a movie, big fears of
Oh.
changing your life, big fears of like coming out and telling your story. Big fears are how are we going to make this relationship work?
Right?
So I just
I love
that
it.
was
Love it. Love it. Oh
so
my
I have a
goodness.
whole plan. My purpose is to continue doing what I do because I'm legit every single day, Deanna, for years, like ever since I started my documentary. It'll be somewhere of me speaking because that's
Mhm.
where my life shifted was after I made my documentary. There was like life before that and life after that.
Mhm.
And I have legit gotten emails from on all the platforms or wherever, some at least once a day, that I didn't thank you. I saw your work or I saw your thing. I didn't kill myself because of you. And I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh, that's amazing.
so I'm like, so me beating myself up, nervous, scared,
Yeah.
be hiding. I spent many years hiding.
Yeah.
I was like, I listened to that, like, and I was like, I should have, like, how people have like counters, on their movie, like sign up now or miss your
Oh
opportunity.
yeah.
Bye. It's on sale now. I was like, I should do one like, hey, here's another one. Here's another one. Another life saved. Another life saved.
You
Another one.
should.
Here's another one. That's a good,
How
because
many people
facing
can
the
say
fear.
that?
Well, I don't know. Probably a lot of people. But
Um,
all of us, honestly, when you're saving lives because you're saving lives from stinky vaginas. I mean, you're saving lives. Oh God.
oh, it is always so fun to talk to you.
Likewise. Well, and I want to, I as I do events, because I was talking to your event coordinator too,
Yeah.
I want to bring these.
Oh my
So you
gosh.
want to like
Yes.
use me.
Yes.
And
We
it's
will. We'll give you
smartest
samples to hand out
thing.
and all the things.
The
Yeah.
smartest thing
Oh, well, I love you to
of
pieces.
my vagina. I have a happy vagina and a happy life. I
Yes.
love that that is your
Our
slogan.
our tagline, because it's
Happy,
so true.
I love it.
Oh,
Happy vagina, happy life. I mean, it is true. Happy vagina for everybody.
yes.
I appreciate you. I'm gonna come see you in Nashville in August. I'm
Oh,
doing a
cool.
bike retreat at his place.
Oh, very
So
cool.
you gotta
Please
stop
do. Please.
working for a
Yes.
minute.
Yes. Would love
Yes.
that. Keep killing it,
Awesome.
girl. So
Thank
proud of you. Mwah.
you for the vaginas, love. I appreciate you. My parts like you too. Thank you for not giving in to the fear.
Thank you.
Awesome. I'll see you in Nashville.
Yay! Oh,
Yay.
congrats.
Do you have any parting thoughts? Any parting, like, any message to any out there? Any
Uh,
last
well, my motto
hang up
is
on?
faith over fear. So I
Nice.
have it on my wall right over there, and it's something I
Keeps
try
coming up.
and so
It really keeps coming up. I'm not going to be
yeah,
quiet about it anymore.
there you
Thanks
go.
for being yet another reason.
Always, always.
Thank you.
Thank you.